Hello folks, and welcome to Linux for Seniors. Now, if you have not discovered my YouTube site yet, or if this is the first time you've seen any of my videos, in the past I had a different YouTube site with over 400 videos. But my new site, Linux for Seniors, and basically I'm going to be saying that none of those videos will be under 2 minutes. So my target audience is seniors or anyone that wants to learn Linux in a relaxed environment. And I'm going to try to explain this in very simple terms that everyone can understand. So I will be taking my time. Now, some of the good things about videos that can be long is you can watch them after you become a subscriber. You can watch them today, stop it, watch some more tomorrow, the next day, or following week if you like. So you can do this in multiple stages. So today I'm going to be talking about installing mouse pointers. This one right here is one I'm currently using. And whether you want a large one or whether you want a different one than what is on the system. And in your Pop! OS standard installation, I believe it's either a white one or a black one. And I have some different options for you. So the first thing that I need to get through is the preliminaries to understand where the things are installed. At least this will be my way of doing it. And I think once you see it, you may agree that it's easier to maintain because it's going to be as easy as dragging files and folders in your file manager. And then there's only one application you need to install that actually allows you to change to this mouse pointer. And I'll show you the regular settings for the size. Alright, with all that said, let's start with the file manager, or should I just give you first system information? That's probably a good way to start. So, Neofetch is not installed, no big deal though, I'll install it in front of you. So if you are curious about some of the install commands, that's a perfect example of that. And I'll say yes. And then I'll repeat the command as soon as it's finished. And you see how fast that is. Let me type out clear. Use the upper arrow key and press this 3 times. So this is the Pop! OS logo. So Pop! OS 2204 LTS, long-term support. This is the GNOME desktop. The version is 42.5, not a big deal. Please don't read into this thing. I had a user ask me why I have so much RAM. I do other work on these machines. Just leave it at that. More importantly, let's concentrate on this system right now. So I'm running in 1920 by 1080. I happen to have a 43-inch monitor that can go up to 4K, but this is a comfortable filming for me and also brings this larger as far as icons and stuff. So if you drop the resolution, this mouse pointer will even be bigger. Now, let's close that and open up your file manager. So your file manager can also display hidden folders. So again, this is about files and your standard file manager, and you have show hidden. So it doesn't really show this in here as a hidden shortcut, but trust me, Control H, hold the control key down with one hand and hit H with the other. Okay, that just toggles between the hidden folders and files. And if these are too small for you, I'm going to show you another little trick. Hold down the control key with you. I'm right-handed. My computer mouse has a scroll wheel on it, like most modern mice do. I'm going to hold the control key down with my left hand and scroll up and down to make these bigger or smaller. All right, so just a little hidden trick for you. So let's do Control H and find out where these mouse pointers need to be installed. So these are hidden files that dot something. And any folder that starts with a dot is a hidden folder. So you can right click on your screen, and you'll need to do this manually. You create a folder. You start with a period or a dot. Just like that. And you can type in like, I'll say test1 for instance. And hit create. That's a hidden folder. Let me hit Control H to let you see it disappears. Get the idea? Okay. I don't need this anymore. Trash can. So what you want to do is create this folder right here. You spell it the same way too. Dot icons. Very important. Not uppercase, not regular icons, In other words, when you create the folder, don't just type in icons. It has to have a period in front of it to work properly. So what's in this .icons? Well, that's actually it's this mouse pointer. So I have some others. When you uncompress these files I'm about to show you, you can drag them using the two-window method into this folder rather easily. You can also eliminate these mouse pointers also very easily by hitting them in the trash. It's very important though that these be in a folder. And I'm going to show you some nifty little tricks you can do. But let's talk about where we can get these things first. So I'm going to hit Control H to go back to normal. So basically I have something in my downloads folder, and I have also this, and I'm going to get rid of that and basically point to the fact that I have some extra mouse pointers here that I downloaded from a certain website. And I'm going to show you how to properly uncompress these things and check them before you dump them in that .icons folder. This is important. So close that. I'm going to open up my web browser and go to Linux for Seniors. Hopefully you have subscribed. My channel is growing. My channel is growing. So I'm going to click the About key. And my previous YouTube site used to have about 456 videos, if I recall. My library has currently a little over 24. It's not too bad for somebody who just started this again from February 9th. Anyways, we want to go here. Hopefully they're doing maintenance. Wonderful. Let me click Distro Watch. Yeah, that's the case. Linux Magazine. Yep. Okay, they're offline. All right, let's find a different way to do this. I'll go to Google and try to find a different way to get in here. So I'm going to look for GNOME-look or GNOME look. So this is normally the official website, which again is down for maintenance. I'll be back in that a little bit. So I have Pling, which I can open. I'll do that, pling.com. And bingo, they're online. But you can see what they're using, gnome-look.org. It's a non-profit website. So you can get this link normally through my YouTube site if you click on it. But more importantly, they have cursor themes, mouse pointers, 790. They also have other themes. So I'm going to click that. So when you're fishing for a new mouse cursor or pointer, take a look at some of these little buzzwords like 24 by 24, 32 by whatever, 48 by whatever, or 72. That's the size of the pointer. The low screen resolution monitors work pretty good in the 24 and 32 range. When you're moving up to like 1080 and possibly 4K, you want the 48 or above. Okay, that makes sense? Some of these are non-resizable, so when you click on these themes, just be aware of that. You can also do searches. So RADIO is radioactive. That's this mouse pointer that I'm currently using. Shows you the dark version, light version. This also has a very good explanation of where these files need to go. That means your home folder, .icons, the folder I just showed you how to create. Forget about the rest of this stuff. The other mouse pointers on your standard installations are installed in the user share icons folder. That folder is protected by root permissions. If you don't know what that means you have to be root to place files in there and remove files. That's a little harder to show most people, but I have done that in the past. So if you wanted to put those mouse pointers there, if you have multiple users, that might be a good idea. But in general, this one is easier to maintain because it does not require root permissions. It's easier to maintain for everyone. I'm going to show you my way of doing things. A lot of people have different ways. So there are 3 files here. This one you want here. Download it. It's very small download. I'm waiting for it to complete. It's done. If you download this one, it just shows you the different sizes and folders. And this is the project online. So really this one. You'll see some compressed file in different formats. That's okay, as long as you know how to uncompress things. And I'm going to show you that if you don't know how to do that even. Let me close this now and open up the file manager. Go to my downloads folder. That's what I just downloaded. My recommendation for uncompressing these things is not double clicking and extracting, because it doesn't extract some themes correctly. What I'm going to do is advocate that you right click on the file and extract here. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to create a folder, a separate one, new folder, call it whatever. I'll call it T, just because I can. So you can either cut it or just drag it into the folder. And then it opens in T, the new folder I just created. Right click, extract here. It's very important that it extracts into a folder, and then you want to open it to make sure that it looks similar to this. If it has another folder that says radioactive, then pull that folder out of there. I'm going to show you an example of that in a second. So this is this mouse theme. And that's all I need to do now. Little trick for you. Hamburger menu, new window. All right, so I'm just going to drag these side by side. I'm going to activate show hidden, or you can go to the hamburger menu here and also do this and open this up. I'm going to manually delete that because I can do all kinds of maintenance in here by just hitting the delete key. Now it's gone. So what you want to do is drag that in there. Okay, so that's your new mouse pointer folder. What's the rest of them look like? Well, there's an index theme and a cursor theme. So this is proper. This one, ninth diamond red, cursor, index theme. That's also proper. So let me go back to downloads and back this up for a second into my mouse pointer folder. I downloaded a bunch of these off that website. So I'm going to actually do this in here and make a mess by right-clicking and extract here. And it creates this folder called 165-blah, blah, 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 blah. This is something that I would say that's not what you want. Even though you extracted it here, because it didn't extract it, because it extracted an extra folder. This is the folder you want, not this one, if you're going to drag it over. So let me do that. You just drag that over. Now I have Azenis over here. Go back in here. Let me find another one. Pulse glass, pure glass, whatever it is. Right click, extract here. Let's take, another one with a weird name on it. Let's look at that one. Oh, it also has another subfolder. Let's grab the subfolder. Now I'm going to close this. And then I'll leave this up for a second. How do we install these things? From .icons. So if you don't put this in, you can't select these things unless you install an application called Tweeks. This one right here. Where do you get it? From your software manager. GNOME, sorry, too many letters. So if I put in GNOME TW, it's GNOME Tweeks. Just install that. Okay, it's already installed. And once I get it open, I'll show you this window. Okay, so it's GNOME Tweeks. Just remember that. Or more importantly, why don't you subscribe? That way you can come back to this. So GNOME Tweeks. I have it installed because I have an uninstall command here. So let's go to that. So GNOME Tweeks is sitting right here. You can also search for it. I'm going to open that. So I'm going to only use one aspect of this thing, but it does have a lot of different things. Like the title bar, for instance. You want a maximize button? There you have it. If you have been looking for that, there you have it. It's got a plus key now. Okay? I'm really not going to talk about all the stuff in here, but I'm going to talk about appearance. Cursor. That's this one. Azenis is this one. This is resizable. This is this mouse pointer. This is the standard one by default that you may be used to. This is the one from Pop OS that you may be used to. This is Pulse Glass. This is a non-resizable if I recall, but it does do kind of a weird glow. Radioactive. Pulse Glass. Pop, standard, Pokemon, ninth diamond red. Your screen resolution is also important when you're talking about these mouse pointers. I believe this is non-resizable if I recall right. Let me use it for a second. So basically I'm going to minimize this and go to my regular settings. Once you have that open, just wanted to point out a couple of things to you. So this is your standard settings. So first of all, I'm going to talk about displays and let you see what kind of display resolution I'm currently in. Okay, 1080. I have the option of going higher. So in the lower resolution modes, these will be quite large. So scroll down toward the bottom into accessibility. This is your cursor size. This one is non-resizable. Watch what happens when I switch. Now this is at its maximum, right? So accessibility, cursor size largest. Close. Open back tweaks. I'll switch to this radioactive. Rather large, isn't it? Go back to settings using the same mouse pointer. Cursor size, small, semi-medium, medium. This one grows with you. So for your visually impaired folks, maybe you want this one. I'll pick another one. How about Pokemon? This weird name here. So that's the largest, smallest. Middle of the road, a little bit bigger than that. That's that one. I'm going to close this box. So Night Diamond Red, again, was non-resizable. So when you pick some of these mouse cursor themes from that website, you may want to read about it. Does it resize? Is it only fixed size? Do you care? Some folks maybe don't care. This Azenis is one of those. And Azenis actually has 3 files you can download. They have fixed Azenis also. Let's go back to the, trying to find the accessory ones. There, sorry. I'm already here. What am I doing? All right, so this is the largest. This is the smallest in this screen resolution. Now, if I was in a lower screen resolution with this picked, this will still be a lot larger. If I go to 4K, you'll almost see this disappear. However, I could use that in 4K mode, and it would look very nice. So all that stuff is depending on your screen resolution when you're selecting some of this stuff. That one's fixed. That one's not. That's the standard Pop! OS one. And yes, it does go big. And we have, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong menu here. I want cursor. So I clicked on that by accident. So I want cursor. So pulse glass. Again, I don't believe this is resizable. Let's try it. And I'll click stop. So you can see that one doesn't resize at all. So that's a fixed mouse pointer. In other words, it doesn't resize. Pulse glass. Radioactive is resizable. This one is resizable. And Night Diamond Red was not resizable. Azenis was. Standard default was. Standard default mouse pointer, in case you don't want to do this, but you want to increase the size of your cursor, right here. From small to large. Your choice. I'll go to the middle of the road. And I'll go back to I'll go back to this one, just to play. Now, what I'd recommend anytime you alter mouse pointers like I've been doing, it really confuses the system. So my suggestion to you is when you settle in, if you're going to do this and you settle in on a mouse pointer, go ahead and close these boxes, walk over to your menu, and at least log out and log back in. If not, restart the computer. Because a lot of times when you change mouse pointers, you'll notice that you're going from one screen to the other, and the previous mouse pointer all of a sudden shows up. And that'll confuse you. Best practice on any system is to log in and log out or restart. So let's do this as a recap. I'll use this mouse pointer. How do I activate hidden files and folders? Control H is my shortcut. If you don't want to remember the shortcut, hamburger menu, show hidden files. You want to manually create a new folder and call it the same name I have here. Make sure it's the same name. Dot icons. You can also do maintenance in here rather easily. In other words, I can click and drag and hit the delete key. Let me see what's in my trash before I do this. So I'm going to empty it and go back, and I want to select all 3 of these guys and hit the delete key. I'm not going to undo it. I'm going to leave these 2. And I'm going to walk over to tweaks and let you see they're gone. Let me go back into the menu here and tweaks. I lost my place for a second. So you'll notice now I only have the default Azenis and Night Diamond Red and Pop. This is how easy it is to maintain this. Let's say you changed your mind. Well, that's fine. Do you want to restore all of them or just one of them? If it's just one, then hit restore from trash. If it's all three, you may want to multi-select and hit restore. They all went back to the same place. And let's go take a look at tweaks now. All my themes should be back, and they are. I have that pulse glass, diamond red. I've got all the other mouse pointers because they're just stored in a folder. They're stored in my .icons folder. So I can use this as my folder to do maintenance. I'm testing mouse pointers. I don't like one. I'll get rid of it. Just remember, when you uncompress things, they need to be in a folder that looks similar to this. You have to have an index theme. If there's another subfolder called Azenis, you want that one as your primary folder. Otherwise, it won't work right. What if you just bring in this as cursors and index? That won't work either. It needs to be properly formatted. So you'll see all of these will have an index and a cursor theme, and in most cases, and cursor. This is where it gets its images from for this pointer. And this one does tricks. This one twirls. That's what that one looks like. I'm going to use the back arrow key on my mouse too, so I don't need to use the back arrow key. So you notice that all of these have index, theme, and cursors. You remember when I went back to here, this is important, this is important. When you're uncompressing some of these, I'll pick Azenis for instance. I don't think I have it in this. So I'm going to copy it and put it in a separate folder so you can see this. I'll use that this time. I'll create a new folder. I'll call it X. Doesn't matter what I call it. I'm going to hit paste. So I have downloaded that Azenis mouse pointer from that website, that gnome-look.org, and I need to extract this. So the best method really is extract here. Now what if you open up your archive manager and extract, and then extract, okay, and close. That did it properly. If that works for you, great. If not, let me delete this. What if you extract here and it doesn't extract properly? And it names it the same folder with this dash on it, this name of the file. There's something suspicious about this. And the suspicion is there's another subfolder in here with the same cursor themes. So how would I fix that? Well, you could actually copy this and move up one and hit paste. Then you can delete this on purpose. Then transfer this file to Windows. Just drag them side by side. Find my .icons folder, drag it in here. It's going to complain because I already have the name in here, okay? So you get the complaint of merging. No, I'm going to hit cancel. But more importantly, you want to have it with this type of setup in here. You don't want that extra name in there with that weird. I think the other one also did, I think it was Pulse Glass that did the same thing. You copy that one and do the same deal. I'm going to use the same folder. First of all, I'm just going to paste the file and I'm going to get rid of Azenis on purpose and that folder. And then I'm going to extract here. That one extracted okay. Or did it? Yes, it did. So it has the proper formatting. Now I can drag it over, but I already have it. You get the idea? I think it was one that just didn't extract properly. I don't remember which one it was. I'll pick another one to have some fun. Could I extract it here? Sure, why not? It looks like I already have that somewhere. It's Mod Black Moon. Oh, there it is right here. Let me delete it. So Mod Black Moon, extract here. Close. Mod Black Moon. Let's see what that looks like. It looks like a proper format. Let's drag that over. Let's go take a look at it. I need to pick it from tweaks. Mod Black. Okay, it's this one. It does some funky looking stuff. Is this one resizable? Let's find out. What's the best way of doing this? Again, go to your accessibility menu, cursor size. Nope, doesn't look like it resizes at all. I'm picking 4 sizes and it's not even moving. But it does look fairly decent, right? Let's go back to, what was I using? Azenis. There you have it. So if I didn't like maybe one or two of these, I could multi-select. Let me grab a hold of the edge and make this a little bit larger. So I could either click one file and hit delete, or I can click multi-files and hit delete. And you can do this in between. Let me show you a neat little trick here if you don't know how to do this. You can multi-select, hold down the control key, and then multi-select these two, and then hit delete, and it'll delete these 4 and leave these 2. There's all kinds of little things you can do with your file manager. There's multiple ways of doing anything in most Linux distributions. But this is where all my mouse cursor themes, that's how I do it to maintain things, and just using a file manager. I do this with all the Linux distributions actually. I find it easier. You may not, but I do. I find it a lot easier doing it this way. So on that note, folks, let's see if that website is back up. I don't know how much maintenance they're doing today, but apparently they are. Let's see if they're back online. Nope, they're still offline. But anyways, when they do come back online, you have a shortcut, or you can manually put this in your web browser yourself. And you saw that there was a second area that I could go through, and that same website uses this also. You saw it on that website. It actually said gnome-look.org is where their information was coming from. But more importantly, take a look at my videos, hit subscribe. The channel is growing. So on that note, folks, have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.